Donk is not of this world.
Team Spirit into the playoffs, but Heroic decide to silence Spirit. And Donk will go forward alone, but there's so many targets. And he can often prove enough on his own. And can this little nuisance pull off an unbelievable clutch to keep his team in it? Yes, he can!
But what if I told you that nearly the exact same play happened again, with different teams just a day later? This major is insane.
Hey everybody, before we get into today's video, I wanted to thank our sponsor, JBL Quantum. The JBL Quantum 910 wireless headset is designed with competitive gaming in mind, and its Quantum Sphere 360 technology can help give you the edge in any game where sound matters. Whether you're trying to figure out where on earth the bomb is on Nuke, or hear footsteps in Valorant, if you play TAC FPS, you need accurate spatial audio. And there's no other headset out there with JBL Quantum's Quantum Sphere 360 tech, which uses an algorithm to accurately render virtual surround sound alongside head tracking to ensure the positional audio is always precise. Visit jbl.com/gaming to find out more. And check out the special edition Cracked episode we did about the JBL Quantum 910 wireless headset and its revolutionary 360 Quantum Sphere tech over on JBL's YouTube channel using the link in the description. Alright, let's get back to the video.
Okay, first things first, let's get it out of the way. Alexi B and his Na'Vi squad will not be playing on the big stage, despite winning Copenhagen and going on a terrific run this year. Their last series against Heroic was definitely a winnable one, but for Na'Vi, their lack of success in the best of ones came back to bite them. They did manage a narrow win against TL in their first matchup, but on top of Team Spirit absolutely clapping them 13-2, MIBR stunned everyone when they pulled off this upset.
Take a step forward, a step in the direction of stunning Na'Vi, but Alexi B will fight on inside of the site, and it is all on him. Insani to close this wonderful game.
Winning just one of those matchups, especially the one against MIBR, could have made all the difference for them, but that's why you have to prepare for everything. I've seen a lot of people pointing to that last round in particular. Alexi B pulls off this beautiful peek on drop to make it 2v1, but Imma over peaks instead of doubling up, allowing for Insani to pull off the clutch. I mean, you can just see how visibly tilted Alexi B gets. The same can be said for when Na'Vi got knocked out. These guys have put in a lot of work this year, and you can just see how much this means to them. That being said, what they pulled off in 2024 is still incredibly impressive, and I don't think that this loss means it marks the, quote, fall of Na'Vi. As far as MIBR goes, they didn't manage to win any of their best of threes, but still an impressive showing to make it this far, especially by Insani. I think it goes without saying, but this kid remains a player to keep an eye on. Now, moving on, other than Na'Vi, most of the other usual suspects were able to move on to the playoffs. After dropping a best of one to MongolZ, more on them later, G2 were basically able to stroll through all of their next matchups. Same can be said for Vitality, who didn't even seem to break a sweat going 3-0. MongolZ and Heroic, of course, made it through as well, and despite taking all 5 rounds, so did FaZe, proving that the memes are indeed true, and Unks still got it.
They have not planted yet, but now they commit to it because Yuri's being spammed down. It's Carrigan. 10 seconds left. They come right through and Robs will close it out. Cas Serrano, as mighty as he is, as mighty as the Brazilians are, they have fallen. Where the storm breaks, the will of mighty men, it is FaZe that have endured.
Things have been a little rocky for FaZe, and I'm not sure how much more Carrigan has left in the tank, but he continues to show up time and time again, so I'm excited to see what they can do with that full crowd. Team Liquid also made it through, which means Canada will be the last glimmer of hope for North America. And if you allow me to glaze Twist for just a moment, I am still very impressed by what he's been able to accomplish as a first-time IGL while still putting up insane numbers. But right now, even more respect has to go towards MongolZ for their incredible run. They are currently undefeated and have in fact only lost a single map so far.
This is great timing for Nerds. Oh, but he loses the duel! And he doesn't see 910 either. Tess has to be found out in the open ground. 910's gonna come at this. Oh, they are playing with conviction. Everybody on high alert, a single frag away. Counter-Strike is made by its history. And in the early days of CS2, we write the first page of a new book. Asian Counter-Strike for the first time in major playoffs. playoffs.
And it wasn't an easy run for them either. They had to beat G2, MongolZ, and Heroic in the process, all teams that have made it through to the playoffs. And MongolZ only has an average age of like 20 years old. These guys are the real deal. The haters. And I mean, how can you be mad about a team doing well at a major in their region? Just let yourself get lost in the hype, even if it's only for a moment. Now, last but not least, Donk. To little surprise, Team Spirit have made it through to the playoffs, with Donk sitting comfortably at the top of the tournament's current leaderboards. They did slip up a little in their first match against Furia, but I think Donk more than made up for that mistake in their final series. With Heroic on match point and Donk sitting ramp in a 1v5, it was maybe time for them to start thinking about what they're going to do for map 3. Donk said, just hold on a second.
Team Spirit into the playoffs, but Heroic decide to silence Spirit. And Donk will go forward alone, but there's so many targets. And he can often prove enough on his own. And can this little nuisance pull off an unbelievable clutch to keep his team in it? Yes, he can! Donk the Destroyer with a 4K and all 5 in the end.
I need you to watch the Heroic POV. I legitimately don't know what you even do here. Sure, yes, in retrospect, they could all have pushed him at one time, but even when they did double swing him, he makes it out with both. This kid isn't human. They did go on to lose Mirage, but I think it did light a fire under Spirit, and the deadly duo of Donk and Shiro wrapped up things on Dust pretty cleanly. But you wanna know what the craziest part of all of this is that this play actually happened twice. The very next day on map point, Skulls was in a 1v4, but with the bomb planted this time. Once again, it was probably time for Furia to start packing, but let me tell you, just something about that ramp position.
Fallen hits the ground, and Skulls the only player left between FaZe and the playoffs in Shanghai. And has he got his dark moment? Skulls is unbelievable!
Unfortunately, Furia ended up losing and were knocked out of Shanghai, which is a bummer, but those two plays are truly something special. Maybe Valve should toss in a joint graffiti on ramp and just put in ZywOo for good measure. But that is it for now. I hope you guys have been enjoying the major so far. I have. We gotta get into it. The playoff stage is set, and it's time we lock in our pick'ems. And when you do, let me know who you think is taking this whole thing.
Who do you think will win, Devin?
I don't know. I want to say Spirit. I think they have a pretty clean path to the Grand Finals, and it could end up being a Spirit Vitality Grand Finals, which I think I predicted. I think it's going to be G2 or Spirit. I've changed my mind, and I will not change it again.